So you're thinking about moving to Rochester, Michigan? Well, in this video, I'm actually going to take you inside of the computer, show you around a little bit so that you can see everything you need to see on the Google map. You can get a great idea for the area, what's close by, how far the airport is, all that good stuff. I kind of walk you through, and I want you to stick around until the end because I want you to be in the know so that you can become a Rochester, Michigan expert. And we're getting after it right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living in Rochester, Michigan, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Rochester, Michigan and everything in Oakland County. My name is Holly Amato with Keller Williams Realty. I get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking for help on making their move to Rochester, Michigan, and I absolutely love it. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. All the information is in the description below so I can help you make a smooth move to Rochester, Michigan. So getting started, when we want to talk about Rochester, Michigan, we really need to take a look at the surrounding area. So it's kind of cool. If you look at the history, Rochester was one of the first settlements in Michigan. It's very, very, very old. It's been around a very long time. And it's kind of located inside of Rochester Hills, Michigan, which I'm going to show you the border in just a second. But Rochester itself is much, much, much smaller. It's only like 3.8 square miles, and Rochester Hills is just under 33 square miles. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, I'm going to draw a little border for you here. So if we look at Rochester Hills as a whole, I'm going to draw it out for you. And then we kind of stop here and switch colors because Rochester, the city of Rochester, not Rochester Hills, is this little area right inside. And this road right here is DeQuinder. DeQuinder is basically our eastern border. So we've got the city of Rochester located inside the city of Rochester Hills. They are separate for all intents and purposes. Mailing is separate, it's a separate address. But again, Rochester itself pretty much has its own entity because it's mostly including the downtown area, the municipal areas, a lot of the parks and rec, although there's parks all over Rochester Hills, but it's kind of a condensed area where I would say the most activity happens. And I think probably you've seen, maybe if you've been watching my videos on Rochester and everything that's going on, the vlog, we talked about different listings and then we did the pros and cons. So in those videos, and I also did a community video on Rochester, we walked through the downtown area. They have over 350 shops and restaurants and so many things to do there. And a lot of that is kind of condensed in Rochester. So a couple other things I want to be able to show you. So now that we can kind of see that we've got Rochester is our little red area here, and the big blue area, that's Rochester Hills. I want to show you what's going on in the area. So when we take a look at restaurants in the area, because that's something that's really important for us to check out. Okay, so now they're coming up. Got to scoot it over. If you notice, a lot of the restaurants in Rochester are located right in that actual downtown area, but there's so many of them that it's crazy how many restaurants we've got going on in Rochester. Okay, so I wanted to get a better picture and just kind of zoom in a little bit more to the downtown Rochester area restaurants. So when you go on Google Maps, you'll see, and this is not even close to an entire listing of restaurants. There are a ton of them, but you can tell who's doing the most advertising on Google by taking a look at these. So some of my favorites are on here, and I just wanted to quickly mention them. So right here, we've got South Main Street, which is also known as Rochester Road. And this is kind of like the heart of downtown Rochester. And you've got First Street, Second Street, Third Street, Fourth Street. And kind of between those four little blocks, you get a ton of the shops and restaurants that we were talking about. So Rochester Chop House and Bar, located right here. There we go. Okay, now this restaurant, if you are looking for fine dining, it's definitely going to be a little bit more on the pricey, more upscale, but it's elegant dining. The food is always fabulous, and I can't recommend it enough. It's one of my favorite places. It's a great restaurant. Something else in the area, let's see, I love all of these. Cruise and Mirror. So Cruise and Mirror is another great option. Cruise and Mirror is on Main as well, and they do an absolutely wonderful job. They have great seafood. They're a little less pricey. I wouldn't say they're totally inexpensive, but a little bit less pricey than the Rochester Chop House. And it's a great place to go with family, with friends. The atmosphere, I feel like the atmosphere in downtown Rochester restaurants is really fun, lively, upbeat. It kind of gives you that experience that you're out and you're just, relaxed and have a good fun time out. So that's another great option. I have to talk about Dessert Oasis, because this is a good friend of mine, my friend Shannon and I. This is our favorite place to go. In fact, we were just there this morning. They have fabulous coffee. They're right off of South Main. Really, not your run-of-the-mill coffee. They do a really nice job. Little pastries and whatnot, and it's just a great place to sit. The atmosphere is really relaxed and nice. They've got music, they've got couches. It's just a great place to go if you want to meet a friend, just grab coffee. If you need to work on the computer, have something to do, if you just want to get out of the house and work someplace, great opportunity is at Dessert Oasis. Okay, so a couple other quick places. The Rochester Brunch House off of Walnut, corner of Walnut and 3rd Street. This place is really well known for brunch. So people are there breakfast and brunch times, around lunchtime. And they are really well known. They do a great job there. If you're looking for an opportunity to meet someone out in the morning for breakfast, I would really highly recommend Rochester Brunch House. So what else do we have that I want to show you quickly? There's so much. I really have a hard time deciding what I should show you. Okay, so Rochester Mills Beer Company here. So like a brewing, they have their own brewery, and let's see if we can get that to open up. There we go. They do a great job as well. And it's a fun place that you can meet. There's live music there, certain days and nights of the week. So you can see and you can take a look. A lot of these are over 4 stars, 4.3, 4.5. They get a lot of high stars because it's just a fun area. They do a great job. People love downtown Rochester for that reason. It's just a great downtown area. Main Street Billiards is a place you can go. This is more of like a nightclub atmosphere. You can play pool, more like a bar. Farmers market. So here's something fun. One of the last videos I did, we were talking about things that you can do, and it's seasonal. I believe it runs through, we're in the month of November. Today is November 17th, 2022, in case you're wondering if you're watching this at a later date. It does say it opens at 8 a.m. on Saturday, so I do believe it runs through the month of November. But, I'm sorry. This is saying October 29th is the last day, but that's not correct because it's saying that it's open 8 a.m. on Saturday. So if you have questions on that, a nice thing about downtown Rochester, they have a website dedicated to all things going on downtown, the farmers market, different events they have at parks. They have a lot of different parks, which I'm going to get to and show you. They do movie nights in the parks. They do art fairs. They have shopping days where you're walking up and down South Main, and a lot of the shops will have sidewalk sales, and it's a lot of fun. So there's so many opportunities for you to find things to do in downtown Rochester. And they have a website that's dedicated to that, which is also mentioned in another video of mine. And I recommend jumping on if you're thinking about moving to Rochester, Michigan or Rochester Hills, Michigan. It's a great opportunity to look and see just how exciting, lively the city of Rochester and Rochester Hills is. Okay, so I think this pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to show you. I have a few other things that we're going to look at. Oh, let's do Silver Spoon. So Silver Spoon Restaurant, this is an Italian restaurant, and if you love Italian food, I have to tell you, they do a phenomenal job. Coming from, I'm the only non-Italian in my group of friends. Everyone in my life is Italian, even my kids are Italian. So the Silver Spoon, they are an authentic Italian experience. Even friends of ours from Italy who have come, we can bring them and they enjoy it. They love the food and they're very discerning, I will tell you. So they do an excellent job at Silver Spoon. The pricing is, I would say, upper scale, but not too bad. You know, they're getting a 4.4, which is really great. And it's just a great atmosphere. They have live music. I think Wednesday nights and sometimes Thursday nights, or I might have that mixed up, maybe Wednesday and Thursday. I think it's Wednesday nights though, but you can always check in with them because of course things are subject to change. But if you're looking for a night out and you want to be entertained and just have a lot of fun, I highly recommend the Silver Spoon restaurant. Okay, Downtown Cafe, you know, here we go. Just a ton of, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on in downtown Rochester and there's something for everyone. But I just pulled up the schools on the map because one of the greatest parts of Rochester Hills is that they have amazing schools. And if you are interested in knowing about the schools, I recommend that you go on niche.com, niche.com. And niche.com voted Rochester Community School District number 11 for best school districts in all of Michigan. And it also gave Rochester Community Schools an A+ as an overall niche grade. That's pretty unheard of. That's pretty amazing. You can also check out greatschools.com and take a look at comments that parents make and different things that you can kind of get information from both sites. But I recommend taking a look to do that. And Rochester Community Schools, like I mentioned, serves both Rochester and Rochester Hills. And there's a very small portion of Southwest Rochester Hills that attends the Avondale School District. So actually down here in this area, we're looking at, this is Avondale schools. So that's the only, that's different right there is the Avondale schools. But when you're looking at, I'm gonna kind of get out of this now. When you are looking at the two main high schools, we have Stony Creek High School here on Sheldon Road. And you also have Rochester Adams. And these are, like I said, great opportunities for education. Some people know, little known fact about me, I was a teacher before I got into real estate. And I loved teaching. I absolutely loved teaching. I was a 5th grade teacher. I was not in Rochester District, but I love teaching. So I always want to know about schools. School district is important to me. Of course, your taxes are, don't forget your taxes when you're purchasing a home have a lot to do with the school district that you're in as well. So you want to kind of check that out. And a lot of the better districts, your taxes might be a little higher for different reasons, but you know, those websites have a great opportunity. You can go through, take a look at the schools, see how they fare, you know, with their grades, the specific schools inside of Rochester Community Schools. But you can see there's a ton of schools. They've got academies and they have private schools and their public school system. Montessori school down at the, right here at the southern end, actually closer to Avondale. But, you know, you've got, let's see, a few other schools I wanted to show you. Hart Middle School. Let's see if we can get it to open up. Okay, they're also on Sheldon. So that's kind of a popular area right now, which makes a lot of sense. You know, a lot of times they're right next to each other because school districts will, it's smart. They'll buy a big plot of land and they'll put more than one school there so they can get the best use of the land. But I'm just kind of scrolling over here to the left and Reuter Middle School. Let's bring that up. East Auburn Road. Okay. Brooklands Elementary School, Brewster Elementary School. Let's just pull out Brewster. So it's kind of over here. So it's kind of at the northern end right here. So just a lot of, all the schools are right here, kind of condensed in this area right here. And to the north is Oakland Township. So the school system in Rochester, I highly recommend taking a look at it. If you have school age kids and that's a concern for you, look into that. They're centrally located, great campuses. I can't say enough about Rochester schools. They do a really amazing job. Okay, another question that I get asked from people who especially are doing a lot of travel or need to get downtown to Detroit, because as a lot of you may or may not know, Detroit is a huge hub for a lot of job opportunities, and it's just a big metropolitan city. There's a lot going on downtown. So there's a big reason why people need to get to Detroit and the DTW, which is the Detroit Airport. So if you take a look at the map here, let's see, let me get my pen going here. You'll notice that if we're looking at Rochester, we're just going to take up the main area right here in Rochester. You're going to take all the way down I-75. You're going to jump on 75. There's a couple ways you can jump on 75. You can get on basically right in that area in Rochester where we did. And then you're going to hitch a ride on I-94 all the way down to DTW Airport. And right now it's actually 4:25. So this is actually a busier time of the day. And right now you'll notice it's about an hour, the route that I just showed you, to get to the airport. It's about 42.6 miles. And if you look at 39 South, which is basically this route right here, let me just switch this over. So if you were gonna take 75 and then you wanted to take 39 down, here we go, then you're still gonna pop right into 94. Then you're looking at a little over an hour, just a couple extra minutes. So for some reason, if there was an accident or a pileup or just too much traffic and you wanted to take another route, just know that, it's not that, 10 minutes differential between those two. So there's two different routes that you would take. And again, this could be seen as a positive or a negative by people. We talked about pros and cons in another video that I did on Rochester pros and cons. Some people may look at this and go, wow, an hour to the airport, that's a long time. Other people may look at it and say, that's nothing, I'm used to that. Or they may come from a big area like LA or New York, and they may say, gosh, that's amazing, you can get to the airport in 1 hour. Their traffic is horrendous. So depending on traffic, of course, you're looking at about an hour from Rochester Hills, the heart right there, to the airport, which is important for those of you who will be doing a lot of traveling. And again, living in Michigan, especially in the wintertime, people like to get on a plane to go south to warmer weather. So our video would not be complete without me showing you on the map all of the listings that we have currently in Rochester, Michigan. And I'm just looking at just Rochester, not Rochester Hills, just Rochester right now. And you can see there's a ton. All these green diamonds here are listings. Right here, here's a $1.2 million listing, and another $1.2 million listing, and a listing over here for $390,000. One down here for $269,000. That's probably a condo. $167,000, probably a one-bedroom condo. $495,000. So if you could take a look, it's kind of like a really eclectic pricing group, which is kind of cool. I always like that. I think that's kind of a healthy thing when you're looking at an area. And again, I know that I talked about this in another video, but I wanted to scroll through here briefly just in case you didn't see that video. So we've got listings here on Parkdale, which is the same as 24 Mile for those of you that are in the area. $475. We've got a cute little listing here for $619 on Linwood, and I believe I was on Linwood during my vlog for one of the houses. I could be wrong, but I think I was on Linwood. That was one of the houses we looked at. Okay, so it looks like we've got a commercial listing mixed in here. Highland Avenue, $585. Here we have $269. That's a smaller home. $575. This one right here looks like a newer home, $984, basically almost $985. Here's one of the $1.2 million on Glendale. Here we have one on Renshaw, which it looks like they have just a rendering. So they're getting ready to build it, and it's an opportunity for somebody who wants to do a spec home, or you can probably get in there and make some changes as long as you can stick with the plans that they have ready for the home. There's that 167. Yep, that's definitely condo. 4-bedroom home on Bloomview Circle for $605. And as I'm just kind of scrolling through here, you can see that there's a lot of opportunity here. You've got 2.3 acres they're selling for about 800,000. So if you want to put your dream home there on Walton, Walton's a great street. So there's just a lot, there's a lot of homes for sale right now. A couple commercial listings that they've got mixed in here. Wanted to show you some stats, and this is something from a couple weeks ago. So they're giving you the week of 10/9. And like I said, it's November 17th right now. So keep that in mind that we're on a website that hasn't run HomeSnap. I like HomeSnap because they are current. They do give a lot of information about the area. So if you're looking for a house, sometimes HomeSnap is great to go to. They do have information about agents, about areas. It's kind of a great bird's eye view of everything. But this data is a little old, but let's just take a look. So new listings in the last 4 weeks, they had 11 homes for sale, 26 condos, 6 detached, 19, 1 townhome. The median list price, $569,950. But this is interesting, the median sales price at $331. And again, you could just see that with the listings I was showing you, that we had that $167,000 condo, $1.2 million new construction. So they're kind of looking at this collectively, and they're coming up with these different medians. They don't have a change that they're, so price changes, they've had 6. We're starting to see a lot more price reductions. We call them price improvements, just because our market is changing a bit with the rate going up. Contracts, 14 contracts that were reported. So basically that just means homes that went pending. And average days on market, 77. And I mentioned this in the other video. 77, I would say, is a little bit excessive. 2 reasons for this. Number one, sometimes there's problem children, I like to call that, where there's a home that maybe is on the market for a really long time because maybe just have a seller who hasn't really realized that they need to lower their price, and they're outside of that, I like to call it the sell zone. So it takes them longer to get sold, or maybe they have an issue on inspection, or maybe they have a buyer issue and they want to keep working with that buyer. So it takes longer for them to get that deal closed out. Also, those new construction homes, builders will many times get those listed right away before they even have a hole in the ground, because they're looking to put the information out there to see if they can procure a buyer. And that just, of course, makes the days on market, like you'll see 214 days on market and think, what's wrong with this house? And you go and look at it, and it's a spec house, and they listed it as soon as they broke ground. So that figure is, of course, something that we'd have to look at. And to get a better idea of how long homes are on the market, give me a call, because this video is taking place November 17th. And depending on when you're watching it, it's going to be different. And I'd love to give you accurate data. So just another way to take a look and just see what's going on in the area. Again, we've just got a decent amount of listings right now in Rochester, and more than 11 that was just new in the last 4 weeks. 26 homes that they're showing for sale. And is it low? It's still a little bit lower. Inventory is a little bit lower. We are really hopeful that that's going to change, though, and we're kind of getting into that new market. Whatever market you're in, there's always a great strategy for finding a great home in Rochester, Michigan. And I'm looking forward to being able to work with you and help you to do just that. So that pretty much gives you a great summary overview of the map of the area of Rochester and Rochester Hills. We could really go on for hours and hours on all of the amazing things Rochester, Michigan offers. And when we count up all those positives that are found in the downtown area with regards to shopping and restaurants and entertainment, not to mention all the community events that they have scheduled on a regular basis. And again, just kind of wrapping things up, if you have school-age kids, it's a great place to be. The schools are rated top-notch. And the walkability of downtown Rochester is top-notch. It's something that people moved to the area to have. They love Paint Creek Trail and the parks. And it's just a great lifestyle living area, as we like to say. I really hope this gives you a great overview of the Rochester area. And if I can be of further assistance to helping you make that smooth move to Rochester, Michigan, please give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. And until next time, I hope to be able to show you around town.